The Oakland Coliseum is the fifth oldest stadium in the MLB today. When it first opened in 1966, it was built to be used for both the MLB and the NFL. The Oakland Raiders played there from 1966 to 1981, and then again from 1995 until 2019 when they moved to Las Vegas. The A's have been there ever since they moved to Oakland from Kansas City in 1968. Because it was a multi-use stadium, that created some of the quirks. First, for MLB, there is an unusually large amount of foul ground. Foul balls that would be in the stands at most ballparks turn into outs there. The dugouts are also at a different angle than most stadiums. Then there are the extra seats that are at the top level of the stadium and are typically never used. It's also been criticized for plumbing issues over the years, and there have been a family of possums that lived around the Coliseum. The capacity has changed a whopping 17 times and is currently at about 46,800. Next up is Fenway Park. Fenway Park is the home of the Boston Red Sox and is one of the best stadiums in all of sports. It's also one of the most interesting. The stadium opened in 1912 and is the oldest in the MLB. The lot that it's built on is smaller than most ballparks. There isn't really a bad seat in the house because of this, except for the seats that are blocked by poles, which is another quirk. The Green Monster is probably the most well-known weird part of it. The distance to the left field wall is closer than it is at most fields, so Boston built their wall 37 feet high. You can go inside the Green Monster, and there is a manually operated scoreboard in it as well. The outfield dimensions are also crazy. This is what they look like, and in right field, the wall curves around, and the right field foul pole, known as the pesky pole, is just 302 feet away from home plate. Fenway Park has been renovated and expanded a couple of times, but still feels very historic. The second oldest stadium in the MLB is Wrigley Field, which opened in 1914. It's the home of the Chicago Cubs and has a capacity of 41,600. Like Fenway Park, there are some obstructed views at Wrigley as well. One of the most famous parts about the park, though, is the ivy on the outfield wall. The wall is actually made out of brick, which is very different than other MLB stadiums that typically use padding. You have to be careful when running into the walls here. The ivy that grows on the brick walls can also cause many baseballs to go missing. Besides that, you also feel very close to the action at Wrigley, and it's all around one of the best and well-known stadiums in sports. In 2020, it became a United States historic landmark. Globe Life Field, the home of the Texas Rangers, opened in 2020. First, we will start outside. The stadium has a retractable roof, which is very useful and helps keep the temperature comfortable when it gets really hot out in Texas. But some fans say the stadium looks odd from the outside and compared it to a Home Depot store or a cooking grill. Moving inside, the stadium uses artificial turf and is one of only 5 MLB ballparks that uses turf instead of natural grass. Globe Life Field was also the home of the 2020 World Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays. That World Series had to be played at a neutral site. Overall, the stadium is new and very nice, and the capacity is 40,300. It's nice to have natural light that can come inside, and the decks in left field are unique. The Tampa Bay Rays play at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. The stadium is nicknamed the Trop, and it opened in 1990. It was originally built to try and entice an MLB team to moving to Tampa Bay, or a new expansion franchise. The stadium was home to Arena Football and the Tampa Bay Lightning in the NHL in the early 90s. In 1998, Tampa Bay finally got a Major League Baseball team with the Rays. From the outside, the stadium appears to be a typical dome, but it looks a little bit slanted. Inside, there's a very indoor feel. The playing surface is artificial turf, and the capacity is over 42,000. One interesting part inside is the Rays tank that has live stingrays swimming around in it. A few times, home runs have been hit into the tank. Rogers Centre is where the Toronto Blue Jays play. The Blue Jays are the only MLB team that plays in Canada. The stadium opened in 1989 and was known as the Sky Dome. There is a retractable roof, which can make the stadium go from a completely indoors feel to outdoors. The playing surface here is turf as well, and in the past did not have a full infield of dirt, but today it does. A hotel called the Toronto Marriott City Centre Hotel is also part of the stadium. It's located past center field, and from some of the rooms, your window looks out to the baseball field. There's also a restaurant in that area that looks out to the field as well. Rogers Center has been able to have Canadian football games and NBA basketball games as well over the years. The Colorado Rockies play at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. The first strange thing about this stadium is that there's a high altitude in Denver, and this causes many long home runs. It's most pitchers' least favorite place to pitch because of this. Behind center field, there is a small forest with mountains and lots of trees. There's also rocks and several levels, and it's located right next to the bullpens as well. The video board is shaped like the Rocky Mountains, and overall the stadium is one of the best looking ones in baseball. The right field seating was changed in 2013 from a large upper deck to several decks and a bar area up top. Next is Minute Maid Park, which is where the Houston Astros play. This is a stadium with a retractable roof, but it does have natural grass as the playing surface. It opened in the year 2000 and has a railroad feel. When you look at it from the outside, it looks kind of like an old railroad station. They have the train tracks on the inside above left field, and every time the Houston Astros hit a home run, the train goes down the tracks. There are also giant windows in left field providing lots of natural light. In the past, the strangest part of Minute Maid was Tal's Hill. That was a literal hill that slanted the ground to go upwards, and it was located in center field. That made the distance to dead center a crazy 436 feet from home plate. There was also a pole on the field of play at Tal's Hill. Home runs to dead center were extremely rare, and there were definitely some interesting moments with Tal's Hill. It was removed after the 2016 season though, and replaced by a much more normal-looking center field. The overall outfield dimensions are still kind of odd though. The left field seats kind of kick out, and there's a spot in left center that if a ball bounces off of it, you don't know where it will go. Lone Depot Park is the home of the Miami Marlins and opened in 2012. When it first opened, it looked different than it does today. In the past, there were some odd features, like a real fish tank behind home plate. There was also a home run sculpture in left center field of fish and palm trees that animated after home runs. There also used to be a Clevelander bar with a pool beyond the left field wall, and the stadium was painted bright colors. However, when the Marlins rebranded and changed their logo and uniforms, they made some major changes to the stadium and got rid of all of those things. Today, the stadium is painted a blue color on the inside and still has lots of natural light coming in from the giant windows. The stadium also has a retractable roof and is one of the 5 with artificial turf. Finally, we have Chase Field. This is the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks and is located in Phoenix, Arizona. Chase Field has a retractable roof, a turf playing surface, and opened in 1998. It's been the first and only home of the Diamondbacks since they became a team in '98. The capacity is 48,405. When many people think of Chase Field, they think of the pool that is in right center. Sometimes home runs are hit into it, and other times players even take a dip when they can. The stadium has a very interesting center field with a giant scoreboard and a wall leading up to it. There's just a yellow line that you have to hit it above for it to be a home run. Some people say that Chase Field looks kind of like an airplane hangar. Even when the roof is closed inside, there's still windows that give it lots of natural light. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.